want to say, and don't say what you don't want to say. But I just start the beginning of where were you born?
I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and my mom was 15, just turned 16, and my dad was 17. Big Catholic family. So they got married, and he joined the Army, which was, back in '73, that was the thing to do. And so he got kicked out for selling cocaine, and he took the money, bought a Harley Davidson, and went from Detroit to somewhere out in California. And my mom packed me up in her duster. I was 6 months old and she was 16, and she said, fuck it. And she took off from Detroit somewhere in California to go find my dad. And she was just old enough to drive a car, man.
Do you have any siblings?
Yep. One sister. She's back she's back home.
Detroit?
No, she's back in Grand Rapids, but she works in Chicago. She kind of goes back and forth. She's married to a lawyer.
What was your home life like growing up?
Too fast.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it was just fast. My parents sold dope. We always had kind of like a cover because they had a business. But I mean, it was, I don't know. I didn't really have the child thing. I was stealing cars and breaking into houses when I was 14, 13. But I got away from it after a while, after like 3 times in rehab and a bunch of times in jail. And then I took off to Alaska when I was 18. That helped.
What'd you do in Alaska?
I got on a boat, and my best friend, he got a carpentry job. We were going up for the summer, and I made 20 grand, and I saw a lot of cool shit. So at the end of the summer, I decided to stay. And Hugh went back to Michigan, and so I stayed up there for like 15 years. That's cool.
And you just fished?
I fished, waited tables, started getting in trouble. And I caught my felony up there. But everything went, I always had a job. I always had an apartment or something. And then, seems like when things are going really good, everything just comes out from underneath you. And that's what happened 20 years ago when I was in California with my girl at the time and my 3 kids with her, twins. I was fishing. And it's one of those stories that happens. It's gone too long.
You guys married?
So we basically were married. We had 3 kids. We've been together for 3 years.
Yeah.
I met her in Dutch Harbor and followed her to California. And yeah, she decided to start seeing somebody, and I, being in a small town and got caught up in the law there, I had to get out, so I left everything and came to Seattle. I've been here on the street for 20 years.
That was 20 years ago.
Yep.
So you have 3 kids. How old are they now?
I have 5 actually. I have a 32-year-old. She's from Michigan. A 31-year-old, and she's up in Alaska. And these 2 women have, like, one's a lawyer and one's a marine biologist, which is pretty amazing. And then my kids in California, my oldest son right now is 23, and he's got a twin brother and sister. Or he's got brother and sisters that are twins, and they're 22.
When was the last time you spoke to them?
20 years. Yeah, the first two, I signed off adoption papers. I haven't seen them. So I've been here on the street. Diggling. Finding treasures and dumpsters like a goddamn kid. For 20 years, man, it sneaks up on you. It's like, whoa. There's nobody out here anymore, man. It's not the same. And people say some things that make me even hurt. And I didn't think I had feelings anymore.
What do you mean?
It's just some of the... They don't even have to say anything. It's the look. It's the grabbing their kid close and tight and crossing the street when you're coming at them. It's made to feel like you're some sort of like a monster, just a thug. But I guess when you look out your window and you see the same people all the time,
Gary,
you know.
The question is, what would you say to those people? What would you say to the people in Seattle?
Keep me away from your wife. No, I'm kidding. That's bad. I don't think anybody should live their life on assumptions. I think before you say something about anything or anybody, if you don't know what you're talking about, you're ignorant because you don't know. Just because somebody you trust told you that makes it right, then that makes you a follower. I'm not a lemon, man. I'm not jumping off the cliff. I'm not doing that. But I wish people would just take a better look. You know?
What are the assumptions that you think people have?
Whatever they hear about the person, whatever somebody's upset at that person for, that just, I mean, it could be anything. I was out in Golden Gardens, and there was a guy that had been camping up and down that whole strip there, the bike trail. And he would get high, and he would put on these women's clothes, and he would do some weird shit. And I didn't like this dude, because he left garbage everywhere he went. I found out what his name was. Because you get one person doing something all just messed up out here, it speaks for everybody. And that's tough. Because it's like, man, that's not how most people are out, you know? I personally think they're getting paid, but just saying. But oh man, I kind of forgot where I was at there.
Found out his name.
What's that?
You said you found out his name. He was putting on the clothes.
Oh yeah, and sorry, and he was all the way down at the entrance to the park there. And I was walking, I can't remember, I was walking and I cut through, I think it was up on the train tracks, and I cut down through onto the trail to get where it kind of turns underneath the railroad tracks right there. Everybody that's from here knows right where that's at. And these two two youngsters are on there, like kind of those little wooden push bikes they got for toddlers. Those things are so cool, man. And I remember exactly, they were probably 2 and 3 years old, and they're with their dad. And they came out of that little wooded area, and I had just walked out of there. And this man looked at me like he was going to kill me, right? He had his shirt off, he was jogging with his kids, and he was just, you know, when you've been working out, you're just all pumped up. This guy looked like he was going to rip my head off, and I was like, I stood still. And he said, boys, that right there is a piece of shit. I just want you to know what a piece of shit looks like. And he's pointing at me. And all this went through my head. It was because I heard him say to the kids, is that the guy? Is that the guy, right? And I'm thinking, oh, hell no. The last thing you want, especially being out here, is like people to think that you're, you know what I mean? That you're trying to, that's just fucked up. But I think he thought I was this person that was camped out at that spot. It had to have been. And that was like probably 5 years ago. And anytime I go by there, it still like makes me like it kills me, man. Because that guy thought that, like, I scared his kids or something. He thought that I was the person that did that, and still just like fucks me up. That one, yeah. Because I don't, how am I supposed to approach that? I don't know this man.
How did that resolve?
We don't know them, but they see us all the time. You know what I mean? We're in pictures together, but all kinds of stuff with us. I hear people say my name, man. I've been out here so long. I don't know these people's names. I can't just say, oh, hey, Bill, right? Yeah, me, homeless guy. About that thing, you know, with the, yeah, it wasn't me. You know, you can't just do that, man.
How do you cope? Gary, what's your coping mechanisms?
I like to bring people together. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people think. I think I would be really good at some sort of coaching or teaching, you know, younger guys, channeling them. I always thought when I'm getting older, I think that would be really cool. But I skate every single day, and I love these things.
A lot of people
Yeah.
talk to cope and, you know, they have they numb out.
Oh, and I get high.
What's your choices, drugs of choice, or what's your substance that you like?
I like weed, and I like speed. I've cut back quite a bit on the weed. I'm always going to smoke. I'm sorry. I just think it's really good for you. It's good for me. Sometimes if that's all it's good for, it's just me, then hey, I win. Screw all the rest of you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that can be a problem though sometimes. Like with the blues. I'll mess with those once in a while too, but it's in everything. The fentanyl. I think it's a lot bigger than what people think, you know.
Well, what do you see? What do you mean?
I mean, what's happening with everything, with all there's so much negative activity, there's so much spiritual activity. Sorry, I'm spitting. I mean, I truly believe that we are living in in some biblical shit right now, man, you know? It's a fact. It's just happening. There's things that people are realizing that they can do. People are starting to realize they can stretch deeper into their minds and actually we've been here before, you know? Because if you can say it and you got faith in it, then it's true. I don't know, man.
A lot. 20 years is a long time.
Yeah. I wonder how many damn times how many boards? Somebody asked me the other day. Seems like you got a different board every day. Sometimes I do, man. I always do art on them. I take the grip tape off because I just do. And it's just a never-ending camps. That's how I cope. Then I love jumping in dumpsters.
What do you mean?
I think Seattle, far more than any city, has got people that throw away the coolest shit in the box, brand new, like thousands of dollars worth of stuff, man, jewelry. There's sometimes I can just like leave my camp, walk 20 feet, kind of look at about 5 or 6 dumpsters and be like, okay, and you just start getting a feel for it. And just open one lid, grab the one bag, and go right to the bottom of it, and boom, I'll pull out a diamond ring that's worth 12 grand, and I'll be like, I'm flush, and that's it, I'm done. I don't gotta do shit for the rest of the, you know, and it happens quite a bit.
You living in a tent?
I live in several tents and just all over.
Tell me about the sweeps. Have you experienced sweep?
I've experienced sweeps for a long time.
Tell me about that experience.
It really sucks when you catch them being sneaky and taking inventory on everything that you and your friends in your camp have and telling the crew what shit to get. That part pisses me off because, yeah, it might look trashy here and there, but we all want a little part of home. I want to kill some of my friends that just don't learn. They make every camp they have look like a fucking just like landfill, you know? And I like to have a nice, clean kind of area, man. But yeah, when they take your stuff first, and then they come in and tell you got a half an hour to wrap it up, and then you're stuck there. They're just like, well, there's the shelters. Like, okay, asshole, you go to the shelter. You bust your ass all the way down to Pioneer Square and get in that environment. Because the second you step into any new environment, you're being tested by every individual in it until you adapt. And either you do or you don't. And a lot of people, they can't cut it, man. And the street kills them.
What do they do with your stuff? You mean inventory?
Find the expensive stuff that we have.
Do what with it?
Take it home, give it to their kids, sell it, do whatever the fuck they want with it.
So they load it up.
I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I've seen this with every single one. I'm not saying who, what, names, or nothing. I'm just saying it happens. And it's sad. But I think it is wrong. I mean, you can't, how do you expect? The bottom line is, without them having to say it, or save face, or whatever you want to call it, they just want us dead. It'd be better if they just lined us all up and put a bullet in our head. Because that's the sweep it underneath the rug kind of attitude the world has these days. Is we'll just call it sweeps. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to call that because you want us to get ahead and get a job and to move forward and to have a place and to be part of society and to function. How is that supposed to happen if you can't ever have any type of foundation to even get doing anything? When you keep pulling it right out. Here, I want you to do good. Smack you right back down. Oh, get up, try again. Here, I want you to do it real good. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought you wanted me to do good, but I can't. You keep hitting me, man. Well, man up, grow some balls, and just put a bullet in my head. Why the pussy-ass torture? Do you have to show God 1,001 ways to be a coward? Go for it. Not on my watch, not on my expense, man. Otherwise, I'll just kick your ass. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that does not feel good.
I have a crow. I've had him for almost 8 years. And that's his whiny ass. It's weird. I've been out here so long. I swear to God, I'm not going crazy. I know how to. I hear what animals say, man. They talk to us.
Saying something.
It's.
Well, Gary, man, thanks for your time. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Anything else you want to say?
Skate or die. And don't lose your faith, ever. You gotta have your faith, man. Otherwise, you just don't. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you gotta have hope.
yeah. Well, my faith is in my faith is in God. I just fuck with the devil too much, that's all.